European hats.
Well, the wait is nearly over for the 45th playing of the Ryder Cup. A warm welcome to Sky Studios on the outskirts of London and the home of televised golf in the UK and Ireland. Also, though, where we will host Captain Luke Donald today, where he will bid to make his European side whole. And we'll find out the 12 that will face the United States at Bethpage. Under 4 weeks to go. It's a long old wait between them, but more than worth it. The biennial contest as continents collide. Europe versus the United States on the back of victory in Rome. We heard Keegan make his team up. The 6 are now 12, the United States last Wednesday. Today we'll find out the 12 players to represent Europe at Bethpage Black. One of the great sporting cities in the world of New York will be the backdrop. So without further ado, we should welcome our captain, who has led by example both as a player but also in the driver's seat. Two more years indeed, and they have their wish. A warm welcome to an icon of European teams, the ruler in Rome. It's Captain Luke Donald. Well done, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Cheers. Well, we have walked this road before. 2 years ago, Luke, as a Ryder Cup captain for the first time, usually one go. That's usually what you get. You did a fine job in Rome. You're back again with the responsibility. How's it been this time around?
Yeah, 2 more years, they shouted. I can't believe we're back here again. The time has flown by, but it was the greatest privilege of my golfing life to be Ryder Cup captain in Rome. I've obviously dedicated the last 3 years now of my life towards this. I understand exactly what the Ryder Cup represents, and absolutely delighted to be able to share the next 6 players that are going to form out our team.
Well, right before we do that, let's remind everybody at home of the 6 that we already have. The automatic qualifiers for the European side for the 2025 Ryder Cup. When you look through them, they look well to us. Luke, what do you make of your first 6?
Incredible, incredible players, incredible people. You could just go down the line. Rasmus, what he did, showing such heart and grit, you know, to get through automatically. Tyrrell had very limited starts to make it automatically. Justin just keeps defining his age and time. It's nice to have Tommy, FedEx Cup champion. Rory, obviously a giant, and Bob, you know, we all know what he did 2 years ago. Unbeaten as a rookie, he is a much better player than he was 2 years ago. 6
lines to go to the Big Apple, but we've got to add 6 more. So rather than keeping them waiting, let's get stuck into it. Your 6 captain's picks. Luke, please give us the first one to represent the Europeans.
Yes, pick 1. First up, we have a man who thrives in the biggest stages and whose passion for the Ryder Cup is second to none. A major champion. He is making his 3rd consecutive appearance for Team Europe. My first pick is Shane Lowry.
Well, there we have it, the first captain's pick. Shane, great to see you. Many congratulations. How does it feel to be wearing the blue of Europe again?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's been a stressful few weeks, stressful year trying to make the team, and obviously I'm very grateful that Luke and his team have put their faith in me again this time, and hopefully I can repay them by producing the goods in Bethpage in a few weeks' time.
Luke, I think a lot of people watching sort of felt like, well, Shane's won. For you, how easy of a decision was this, and what does Shane add to the team?
Well, he obviously was very close to making it automatically, lost by 4 points. But, you know, I think we see in that highlight reel what Shane brings to a Ryder Cup, you know, his infectious energy amongst the team. He understands team above everything else more than most of the guys. And it's just really great to have his energy and his vibe in the team room. But, you know, one hell of a player as well.
Nice words from your captain, Shane. Look, in 2021, when you played your first one, I remember after it, you found it quite tough, going back to regular golf because of what it meant to play for Europe. What is it that it means to play for a European side in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I remember the come down afterwards from being there with the team and how much I enjoyed the whole experience, even though in 2021 we got, you know, beaten quite badly. But all my focus then after that was kind of put into making that team in 2023 and trying not only making the team but trying to win the Ryder Cup back. And I had an amazing week in Rome, and we did a great job. Everyone, Luke and everyone involved did a great job, and I was, you know, grateful to be a part of that team. And then, you know, I honestly feel like I get up every morning and one of my main goals is always working towards, you know, whatever Ryder Cup is next. So you know, Bethpage is very close around the corner, and I've put a lot of work into it this year. I feel like, you know, it's been at the forefront of my mind for a long time now, and I'm very excited for the next few weeks.
Well, you've had a taste of a Ryder Cup in the United States. How do you think this one's going to be?
Yeah, obviously Western Straits was a bit different, where we, you know, there was no European fans at all. I know there won't be as many European fans as Americans this time, but you know, there'll still be a few, and I imagine the few that come will you know, bring their support. There's been a lot of talk about what it's going to be like at Bethpage, but if there's one thing I know for sure, I know Luke Donald and his team will have us ready to go when it comes to that Friday morning. So I'm excited to get to work with everyone behind the scenes, and like I said, just really excited for the next few weeks.
Well, congratulations, Shane. Thoroughly deserved, and we'll look forward to watching you at Bethpage Black. Luke Donald's first Ryder Cup captain's pick today. So a reminder of here he is. The first one is in the books. It's a good start, Luke. It's a really, really strong start, but let's keep the hits coming. Let's move on to your second captain's pick.
Right. For my second pick, a two-time major champion, a player who is continuing the great Spanish legacy in the Ryder Cup. He is proudly part of Team Europe for the fourth time. My second pick is Jon Rahm.
Is it even really a Ryder Cup if there's not some Spanish flair in that side? We've seen it historically. John, great to have you with us. For you, this is your fourth go around. What does it mean this time?
It's a different feeling. I did not think I was going to be as emotional as I feel right now being picked, even though Luke called me and told me a few days ago. It's going to be special. You know, it's going to be special. I cannot wait to be in Bethpage. New Yorkers are going to be incredible fans. It's going to be difficult for us, but I'm looking forward to hopefully having a better showing than the last time we did in the US.
Luke, John is obviously a stalwart. He's also one of the best players in the world. What's his role within the team?
Well, I think John really sets the standard for us. You know, he's someone that does a lot of his actions through just what his processes of going, you know, being meticulous with what he does. You know, he's usually the first person up. He's the last person out of the team room. Things like that you notice with John. It's amazing what he understands the history of the Ryder Cup, what it represents, and obviously wants to follow in the footsteps of some amazing Spanish players that have led the way. You know, the Sergios and the Jose Marias, and of course Seve, who we idolize in the Ryder Cup for what he represents. And you know, John takes that history under heart and you know, plays like it because of that.
There's been one other Ryder Cup in New York State. It was Oak Hill. It was 1995. I believe the European side were victorious there. John, you're going to be a part of that attempt again in New York State. What is that challenge? Try and explain to us, having played so much golf in the United States, having been part of Ryder Cups both home and away, what is that challenge going to look like in New York?
It's difficult to explain. I think the biggest challenge for most of us, like Shane said, the Ryder Cup in Whistling was a little different during COVID, right? So the environment might be the biggest challenge, but it can be used in your advantage. And in my experience, New Yorker fans can actually be quite fun. They're very funny, very creative. So if you approach it with the right mindset, I think it can be a really, really fun week. Stressful, yes, but I think it could be very productive. So I'm looking forward to being with the rest of the group and hopefully have a great go at it like last time.
John, just before we let you go, when we were getting ready for this, I saw you come online. Like, is that a baby Yoda that's behind your head there, looking after your memorial tournament trophy?
Yeah, it's we have Bilbao right there. Then we have a picture of me and Seve. I forget who did that for the Masters. A picture of me and Kelly, and then Baby Yoda. A bit of a Star Wars fan here in the office. And there is not quite 6 foot Darth Vader, but it may or may not be in the corner of his room.
John, always good to see the other side. John Rahm, may the force be with you when you get to Bethpage, my friend. Luke. Luke. Well, you got a Luke. You have got a Luke. So there we have it. Great to hear from John, the second member that you've picked. Perhaps no surprises there. Let's just remind ourselves of how that looks now. Shane with company in John as well. So we have 2 of the 6. Take us on to our third captain's pick, Luke.
Yes, my third pick. Someone who made his Ryder Cup debut as part of our winning team in Rome 2 years ago. He was the first Austrian to win on the PGA Tour. Has won twice this year on the PGA Tour in 2025. My third pick is Sepp Straka.
Good vibes only for Sepp Straka, back again. Sepp, many congratulations for making Luke's side to face the United States. How do you expect this one's going to feel the second time around for you in a Ryder Cup?
Yeah, it's incredible. Just watching those videos that you just showed just gets you really excited. You think that making a Ryder Cup would just be checking off a list, but no, it just makes you want to be there so much more the next time around, and really thrilled to be a part of this team.
We saw those moments, obviously, last time, you and Shane, 2 strong men for a European side. Shane's in that side again, we've already seen now as one of the captain's picks. How special were those moments the first time in terms of inspiring what you've done this year?
Yeah, incredible. Shane, I could not have picked a better partner. Felt like we had an instant connection from the practice trip on, and yeah, he was incredible to kind of lead me around my first time, and brought a lot of energy. Obviously, he was always fun to kind of lean on in those high pressure moments, and yeah, just made it really fun. And yeah, looking forward to some more good memories here in New York.
Look, Luke, you're heading to the United States. Sepp's done a lot of his heavy lifting in the United States, 2 wins this season. How important was that in the selection?
Very important. You know, you always want to see who you're up against, you know, and Sepp, obviously, outside of Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, nobody has won more times on the PGA Tour. He's been performing at a very, very high level. I think 5 top 10s in elevated events this year. So, you know, his game speaks for itself. But, you know, a quiet, reserved character, but has so much fire in his belly. And really excited to have him back in the team room. And
great vibes from Rome. Sepp, many congratulations on being one of Luke Donald's captain's picks today. We look forward to seeing you at Bethpage.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, so let's just remind ourselves once again, Luke, of who we have so far. 3 picks in. You've gone well. You've gone strong. Shane Lowry, Jon Rahm, Sepp Straka. Take us on to the 4th.
Okay, so for my 4th pick, again, someone who is making his 3rd consecutive appearance in Europe in a Ryder Cup. He was one half of a record-breaking foursomes victory in Rome 2 years ago. He was the first Norwegian to win on the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour. My 4th pick is Viktor Hovland.
Megawatt smile of Viktor Hovland always in place. Viktor, great to see you. Huge congratulations. What are the emotions that are being picked for a European side of Oak?
It's unbelievable. It feels awesome to be here with you guys, and I can feel my palms are getting really sweaty, and I'm super excited to get going and seeing everyone.
Scheffler and Koepka, 9 and 7. That was not something that we expected to see. The biggest ever victory for a European side at the last Ryder Cup. Try and just describe to what the emotions are, if you can try and put it in place for people who will never know what it's like to represent Europe in a Ryder Cup. Try and express how that feels out there in that moment.
It is harder to describe. It's you know, golf is an individual sport, and you get up every day and it's just you on the golf course practicing. And I do really miss the team aspect of golf that we had for myself in college. And when you get to represent 11 other guys, your captain, vice captains, and all the fans that are rooting for us, it definitely feels like you're part of something a lot bigger than yourself. And I think deep inside, that's ultimately what we want to do.
Luke, you could argue you have more than a handful of pillar players, like the standout strong players. What is the value, though, of someone like Viktor, who is clearly one of those? What is the value of having someone like that in the side?
I just look at his energy and his smile. Viktor's one of my favorite humans. I mean, he just, he really is a good guy. But I'm always so impressed with how dedicated he is to his craft, you know, how much he puts into it, how much he wants to succeed. He was a lion for us in Rome, and he will continue to be that in Bethpage.
Some people would still question how human Viktor is, certainly when you watch him play the sport. How much would you have learned from 2021, Viktor, in terms of that was a tough experience, but you have experienced it. How much can you carry that through with what you know now to being even better in 2025?
Yeah, without speaking too much about the results from 21, it was very valuable for me. Just from one perspective of getting to be in a team room with literally legends of the game, guys that I've looked up to my entire life, and just to be in that team environment and play against a very demanding U.S. crowd, especially when we didn't have any European fans there. I think I was a bit more timid there in 21. In 23, kind of being on the other side of the pond and coming off my the best golf of my career. I was just way more ready for the experience. So I'm hoping to channel that, even though we won't be at home this time around. I think we're all going to be ready when we stand on the first tee.
Good to hear. Another worldly athlete in Victor Hovland, part of Europe's team. Thanks so much for spending time with us. Congratulations, Victor. A reminder of how our 4 look so far. Shane, John, Sepp, and now Victor. 2 to go. Take us through it, Luke.
Yes, so now I would like to introduce another Scandinavian. He's the other half of that record-breaking partnership in Rome. He was only 3 months into his professional career when I announced him as a pick on this show 2 years ago. But he has a Ryder Cup win and 2 PGA Tour titles since then. My 5th pick is Ludvig Aberg.
We've got Victor, now we've got Ludvig as well. Congratulations on making a 2nd Ryder Cup team. You know, funny enough, Luke just brought it up there, Ludvig. 3 months. I mean, you'd barely been a professional, and there you are, donning the blue of Europe. How different of a player do you feel this time around heading to your next Ryder Cup?
Well, first off, thanks, guys. I definitely feel more experienced this time. Last time it was, like you guys mentioned, it was so short into my professional career, and I felt like I had the most amazing week in Rome, and it was the first time that I've sort of got to experience those things and be in the locker room with those guys, with all the legends, and I was really proud to be a part of that team, and I knew I wanted to be there in the future as well.
I remember even in those early stages before you selected him, you said to me, I think this guy's a generational talent. Why did you think that at the time for the last Ryder Cup?
Just what we'd seen. You know, there's the few players that I've played with throughout my career, and you just see them for the first time, and you just know that they have something special. You know, obviously, I got a little bit of heat before Rome happened when I picked him. Very new out of college, never played a major. Almost won the last 2 Masters, though. I think he's obviously, you know, as situated himself as one of the very best players in the world, and you know, winning on the PGA Tour, and you know, the accolades just keep coming. He's just starting in his career, and he's already proved that he can hang.
All right, just before we go, Ludvig, excited to be reunited with Victor. Those magical memories of last time.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk to Victor about the 9 and 7, and that was one of the highlights of my career so far. It definitely brings me a little smile to my face, and I just love thinking back to it. And you know, if we get to pair up again, that would be amazing.
Amazing. Congratulations again, and we'll look forward to watching you also in New York State. Congratulations, Ludvig. Luke, let's just see the 5 you've got with 1 remaining. It looks really good so far to add to the 6 automatic. Take us through our last and final captain's pick, Luke.
Yes, my 6th pick, someone who is representing Team Europe for the 4th time. He's a major champion, having won the 2022 US Open, and he is actually celebrating his birthday today. And so we have 2 reasons to congratulate him. My 6th pick is Matt Fitzpatrick.
is Matt Fitzpatrick here is in transit because of travel delays. You're a Ryder Cup star, and yet travel eludes no one in terms of the problems with it. Matt, many happy returns. How does it feel in terms of a birthday present getting that call from Captain Luke Donald?
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, it's always exciting. It's a nice birthday present, and to spend the day talking to you guys.
Luke, this feels like it was a tough one, because we know one of the hard bits of a captain's job is obviously having to make some tough calls, but making some happy ones too. How did this go about, the decision for you for picking Matt Fitzpatrick?
You know, Matt himself said he didn't get off to the best start this year and was struggling with his game a little bit, but he's one that's turned it around impressively. I think nobody is sort of statistically been as good as Matt has in the last 3 or 4 months. And I challenged Matt to go play the last 2 events in Europe, and you know, getting to the last group on Sunday, the last 2 weeks, I think just showed us everything that Matt has. He's playing tremendous golf right now. 6 top 10s, I think, in his last 8 starts, and you know, really, really impressive to see how much his game has come along trying to make this team.
All right, Matt, you know, there's a thing that's a very real thing for most golfers. It's called Ryder Cup-itis, and it means when you get down the home straight, they tend to play worse because it means so much. You did the opposite, as Luke was just talking about there. What does that give you in terms of belief and confidence in yourself going to New York?
Yeah, there's a lot of belief after the last few weeks, obviously. Like Luke said, I felt like I turned my game around from the start of the season, and you know, to finish the sort of Ryder Cup run-in with the form that I've showed is obviously a real positive, and obviously it'd be lovely to continue that into the Bethpage. Well,
Matt, it went down to the wire, but here you are, part of the 6 captains' picks to join the 12 and represent Europe in the Ryder Cup. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
Right, let's just remind you as well, I think we've still got all 6. Here they are. Let's have a little look. 6 captains' picks. Look at those happy, smiley faces, Luke. You've certainly made their day and probably have earned a favour as well. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your 6 captains' picks. Nice to hear and see what it means, but let's also remind everybody now what the completed team looks like. You talked about the 6 you had. You've talked about now we've met the 6 that you've acquired to make all 12. When you see them stacked up like this, and when everyone watching around the world gets to see your 12, what do you feel? What are the initial feelings? Well,
I feel amazingly proud of these guys and how well they've played. Obviously, a lot of continuity from Rahm. That's unusual to have so many people coming back, but just shows how good these players are. You know, but you know, even though we have a lot of continuity, this is a different animal to play away in America. We understand how difficult that is, and I've looked at it from very different angles to try and get us prepared for this amazing challenge ahead.
There's never been a greater carryover from a European side as we've seen this time. 11 of the 12 that teed it up in Rome are here in this team as well. In fact, all of the names are the same. In fact, apart from the Højgaards have switched out. It's Rasmus this time around. For you, when you look at it, what is that challenge going to be like? Can you be ready to face what we're going to face in terms of a different vibe of playing at home at Rome and playing away in New York?
Yeah, as I said, it's a different animal. It's a different challenge. And, you know, obviously having the chance to do it again doesn't mean we're going to do the same things we did in Rome. It's about implementing new techniques. I've really tried to look hard at exactly what this will require. I'm very aware that we have lost 3 of the last 4 away Ryder Cups by significant margins. And it's a tough challenge. It's a tough environment. But I've tried everything I can to give our team the best opportunity.
All right, Luke. Well, we wish you well. Thank you so much. For viewers on Sky Sports Golf and on the Golf Channel, we'll be sticking around with Luke to look further into his 12. For those watching around the world, this is where we say goodbye. 6 have become 12, and we'll look forward to seeing you for the battle between the United States and Europe, and the 6 captains' picks will be there.